Welcome back, fellow travelers. If this is your first time here, my name's Amanda, and this is where I help you make it to your destination. As you can see, this week we're on a new location, and that's because I just got into my first apartment. So yes, it has been an extremely busy week. We're still trying to get settled. We just need a few more things for the apartment, but if you hear different noises than in my past videos, want a busier street, the air conditioning does make noises periodically. So I just want to let you know and give you a fair warning, but we are just blessed and grateful that we are in this apartment and have a roof over our heads. And this week we're going to be talking about rental cars. And this video is geared more toward people who are under 25, but I am having some tips and tricks for everyone. And that's because if you are under 25, usually there is a young renter fee associated with your booking, and it can become extremely expensive to rent a car when you're on vacation. But I believe renting a car in a new city or destination could really help you see that place in a way that you haven't before. So Sam and I, when we went to Las Vegas and Zion and Bryce Canyon, we rented a car, and we're gonna tell you how we did it and how you really do see, again, another side of the destination that you're going to by renting a car. So yeah, let's get into how to plan a rental car before you go to your destination, what to be aware of, and the current news regarding rental cars. All right, so I want to start this video with thinking about how to plan a rental before your trip. So I know it can become very overwhelming to see the number of booking sites and the rental car agencies, but I'm kind of going to give you a breakdown of each one and how to determine if you even need a rental car for your trip. So the first thing that I do is plan out the activities you want to do in order to determine how long you need the rental car for. And I'm going to give you a prime example. So Sam and I are going to San Diego and then up to San Clemente and then Las Vegas pretty soon. Personally, I don't like driving in cities, but San Diego is very spread out. And so we know that we're going to need a rental car out there, especially if we're going from San Diego to San Clemente to Las Vegas without taking a flight. We honestly just did it for the time that we are in San Diego and San Clemente and then returning the car when we go to Las Vegas. Because honestly, with the number of people, the traffic, and also the price, it's not worth having a rental car in Las Vegas. And the reason why we chose to have it in San Diego was, again, it's spread out. The beaches are in different locations. And honestly, for a beach vacation, I think it's difficult to get an Uber because you don't want to put sand in the car or your beach car or your umbrella or anything like that. I just think it's a hassle. So what I would do is, based on your destination and the activities you're doing, see if a rental car is necessary. Look at the distance between where you're staying and where you're going. Look at how long you're going for. Kind of see, does this destination have adequate public transportation? These are questions you should be asking yourself when you are going through the booking process. The second thing that I do is try and see if you can get a better price by going on different booking agencies and switching up the dates. So what I've noticed is usually on weekends it's more expensive than during the weekday, and then you gotta just test out the waters with different rental agencies, right? Go onto Enterprise, type in dates. Go on Alamo, rent a car, put in dates. Hertz, any of those sites, and kind of see which one gives you the best rate and the best deal for what you're looking for. I always just try to do the economy car, the compact car. I'm not trying to get an SUV, but I think it's just because it's just the two of us. But if you do have a family, just keep in mind it is going to be more expensive for an SUV, a minivan, anything like that. Another way that I determine if I need a rental car is it going to be more expensive to Uber/Lyft, or is it going to be more expensive to rent a car? So I kind of do an estimate of what I think the Uber and Lyfts will be. So I'll just go onto Uber or Lyft and type in, and again, I know it is based on your location, but you can switch it. So you could type in the address of your Airbnb to where you're thinking about going and kind of see based on the time of day how much it's going to be. Because I think a lot of people do underestimate how quickly Uber and Lyfts can add up. I've gone to certain cities. When Sam and I went to Montreal, we honestly didn't think the Uber and Lyfts would add up, but they really did. If you're not staying in a central location or things aren't walkable, $15, $20, $25 adds up very quickly depending on what you're doing and where you're going. So sometimes it makes more sense to book a rental car, but it's based on your activities, right? In Las Vegas, we're most likely going to be, drinking and having fun. And honestly, I don't want to worry about driving and I want to be safe. So again, make sure you keep your activities in mind as well. This is something I think people forget, is that depending on the booking site, you could pick up the car in a different location than where you drop it off. But just remember, that is usually more expensive, right? Because you're moving the car from, one location to another instead of doing the same and making it, the rental car company probably has to keep track of that, and it is more expensive. So now we're going to get into the second part of this video, which I'm going to be talking in depth about the young renter fee. And it's kind of going to be advice for you, but also just a rant about it, honestly, because it is very aggravating as a young traveler to have this cumbersome young renter fee. So let's talk about it. So a lot of people who know me and who talk to me about travel know that I absolutely despise the young renter fee. I personally think it's ageism. I personally really don't understand it because usually, honestly, older people get into more accidents than younger people. And I'm not talking about, people in their mid-40s. I'm talking about older, like senior citizens. And they usually get discounts on rental cars, to be honest with you. So I think they should change their business model to have it be based on your insurance. They could look at your driver pass and see, oh, this person doesn't have tickets, they have a clean record, we're not gonna introduce this young renter fee. Or it would be great if they introduced it as a deposit, right? Okay, you pay $500 and then you get it back. And many people who are over 25 and who haven't rented a car under 25 don't even know that this fee exists. Just to let you know, for all of your friends, family, whoever that you know who's under 25 who's renting a car, it's extremely pricey. I have gone onto websites like Enterprise and Hertz, and it has gone up to $300 or $400 for the trip for a week, in addition to what you're paying for. And you don't get that money back. So it's like, hey, for being 22, we're gonna charge you $400 and good luck with that. It's kind of a disincentive so that you don't book with them because they probably don't want you to be a liability, unfortunately. So it's very difficult to avoid this fee. But I would recommend that if your destination offers this, to go this route. The agency I'm gonna name, I didn't know about until, I would say, around March. It's called Turo. And it's basically an Airbnb for cars. So you go onto this app, and you look and people are renting either their own cars or a fleet that they have or an extra car for a lower price, right? There's reviews on the car. You could either get it delivered or you could pick it up. You could see the location of where it's at. Sam and I did this for Las Vegas, and there was a young renter fee, but it was not as much as Enterprise or Alamo or anything like that. I believe it was about $30 a day, which does it suck that there's a young renter fee? Of course, but at least it's only $30 a day and not like $400 altogether. It also changes based on the length of time and the type of car you're getting, right? So if you're getting a luxury car, I'm gonna assume that's gonna be more expensive than if you get, a mid-range sort of car. And also, something else to think about is when you're traveling, especially now that international travel has opened up, this young renter fee either does not exist or it changes based on the international destination that you're going to. I personally don't know how you feel about traveling internationally and driving there. In my opinion, I don't think I would want to drive internationally. I don't know, what the signs would say, or being on a different side of the road might be weird. I'd be a little nervous. But I've heard in Europe that there is no young renter fee. And if there is, it's usually if you're, I believe, I don't know if you're under 18, but it's not the 25 limit. I really don't know where that 25-year-old limit came from, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's a car insurance thing. I don't know if there's something historical that all the rental car companies are like, hey, we should just make a young renter fee that's 25 in the United States. I'm honestly not sure. But internationally, I've heard that you don't have that problem. Turo is a great option if your city offers it. Again, I'm from upstate New York, so that wouldn't really work here. But when we went to Las Vegas, we did Turo for the first time and it went very seamlessly. The guy who rented us the car was extremely nice. I believe we got a Dodge Challenger and it was a lot of fun. So it allowed us to see Las Vegas and Bryce Canyon and Zion National Park in a way we couldn't have if we didn't rent a car. So honestly, just be aware of the young renter fee and let me know in the comments, what do you think about the young renter fee? Because honestly, it aggravates me to no end. I really wish this would change. And then we're gonna get into the last part of this video, which is kind of current news about rental cars and how to get the most bang for your buck when booked. All right, so for the last part of this video, I just kind of wanted to have a quick conversation with you guys. And we're just gonna talk about current news about rental cars. I think either during the pandemic or before the pandemic, many rental car agencies were kind of in the hole. They were, having a difficult time kind of competing adequately. And so a lot of rental car companies sold off their fleets. And then all of a sudden, after the pandemic, there has been a surge in rental car bookings. And as you can see, I think I talk about this in my Hawaii video, but people are literally renting U-Hauls in Hawaii because there's literally no rental cars available for tourists anymore. The demand has gone up very dramatically in 2021. So make sure if you are going to book a rental car that you do it well in advance. I know we're already in July, but make sure, let's just say you're going somewhere in November, I would start doing it now. Because you're gonna get a cheaper price, you're gonna get more of a choice because the availability will be plentiful rather than booking it in September, October, and then prices go up and you really don't have a choice in what car you would like. So just make sure that you try to do it well in advance because it will help your wallet. And also, in my personal opinion, I think it just gives you peace of mind if you do it ahead of time, right? You book it a few months, okay, you pay for it early, and then that might be even more money that you could spend on your vacation or your self-care routine before you go, things like that. If it is too expensive to rent for more than one day, I will recommend that you do Zipcar. Now, Zipcar is a short-term rental. Usually it's only for a day. It's not days on end, for a few hours. They usually give you a little card and that's your key and you put it on the top of the windshield and they have this little, I would say like key fob thing and it unlocks the car. And then you take it. They also, actually, when you do pay with Zipcar, they give you a little card that you could pay for with gas, which is awesome. I remember one time, I think it was the first time I had Zipcar, there was no credit card in there and they reimbursed me for the gas for the car, which was great. The only thing I will say about Zipcar is if you do go over certain mileage, they do charge you. So make sure if you are thinking about doing a short-term rental because rental car availability is crazy, make sure that you don't go anywhere too far. And if you do, just make sure that you know that there is a mileage fee for that. And then with Zipcar, you do have to reserve it at a certain time, and you reserve it for a few hours or a few days. It can get pricey if you try to do a longer term rental. I would say for Zipcar, try to keep it as short as possible. Do it for a few hours, do it for maybe a day, but I would not recommend for you to do it longer than a day. So honestly, I hope this video helped you with your rental car booking. Let me know in the comments where you're going, where you're gonna get your rental car from. Like this video, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you never miss one of my videos. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time.